Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to this special session on how to build your study plan. For the last few days, we have been seeing that there are a lot of queries regarding, sir, how do we schedule our studies? There is so less time left for the exams. How do we ensure that we use this time in the best possible manner, right? And then is when we started thinking that we should come out with a session where we can guide you on how you can schedule your day-to-day studies. As a matter of fact, how you can build a study plan that would be best suited for you, right? When I say best suited for you, obviously I mean that everyone's study plan would be different in a way so that it gives him or her the best benefits out of it, right? So yes, it should be the best, all of you know that, but how do you ensure that your study plan is suited to you? For that, what are the parameters that we should be looking out for is something that you might not be as much conversant with, which we will do today. Okay, right. So in this lecture, what I intend to do is to give you the parameters that you need to ensure, that you need to keep in mind, so that ultimately you make a schedule for yourself which would give you the best benefits in terms of this time period that is with you. In this limited time period that is with you, you get the best benefit out of it. Okay, right? So that's the idea of today's lecture. Now, needless to say, I'm not going to make a daily schedule for you, right? I'm not going to tell you what in Monday, what in Tuesday, what in Wednesday, okay, 10 to 12 what, 12 to 2 what, because again, as I told you, that would be suited according to your preferences. You might be an early riser, so your timing should be different. You might be a late sleeper, then your timing should be different, right? What we can ensure is that boss, these are the basic things that you need to do, and you need to do before you close your preparation for that day, right? Day on day. So on the basis of that, according to your body cycle, you make your schedule, and that would be best suited for you, right? Okay. Now, before we start, let's understand what we are looking at when we say schedule. We are looking for the short-term goal of our prelims and mains exams of SBI PO and IBPS PO, right? So this is our main target as of now. So when we talk about the prelims and mains of SBI PO as well as the IBPS PO, we are looking at a time period of what? Today is October 25th. We are looking at a time period of till mains, a 2 months to 2 months, 10 days kind of time period, 15 days kind of time period. So how do we efficiently use this time is something that's a very relevant question. So first of all, what we need to do is that what are the components of these two exams in prelims as well as mains? The components are these four: Quant and DI, reasoning, English, and general awareness and banking awareness, right? The whole section of general awareness, banking awareness. Obviously, it's there in the mains, not in the prelims. But as we know as of now that we need to start our preparation for the general awareness right from today only, so that if you haven't already started, so that you are able to make most out of it in there also, right? So these are the four things that we need to do. Okay. Now we need to ensure that our daily schedule is such that we cover a lion's share of all these topics till the exam. If we are starting today, or let's say we have started 1 week back, that we have covered all the major important areas of these topics in the next 2 months, so that we are ready for the mains. And if you have started earlier, if you have been preparing for months, then we should ensure that we give equal or adequate weightage to all of the sections, so that I have a better revision, I have the best revision that is possible for me. right? So this is the idea, na friends. This is what we want to do. This is what we are trying to do at this point of time. So there are two kinds of people that I am interacting with today. One is the person who has started just now. So he is the person who is building on his concepts too. Another is the person who has started earlier and he is revising on his concepts or on her concepts. Now there would be people obviously who would be in between, right? They have started 2-3 months back and they are done with the half of what they needed to do, and they are left with another half. So obviously if we talk about both the extremes, so the person who is in between can plan accordingly in whatever stage he is. So I would be talking about both the extremes so that anyone in the spectrum is helped, right? So if a person is starting today or from the last week, he or she can also plan accordingly, right? Obviously his and her plan would be different from the person who is already done with all the concepts and is in the revision stage. Obviously in between all those people who are done with 50%, 30%, 70% of the course, they have to tweak according to these two extremes depending upon in which towards which extreme they are, right? Okay, take it, chalo. So what I would do, I would move out of the screen and I would show you step by step what are the things that are important for you that you need to consider while making your daily schedule, right? Now, let me show that to you. See, demo study plan is what I call this. Now, demo study plan, why? Because this demo study plan includes what to do, how to do, how much to do, and the time that would be required for each one of these activities, right? Okay. So, first activity of what to do, concept building or revision. Now, needless to say, the person who is not done with all his or her concepts would also focus on concept building, and a person who is done with all the concepts once, he would or she would focus on revision, right? Now, how to do it? For concept building, you would watch lectures or you would do concepts from books, right? Lectures from the course that you have taken, if you have taken any course, or from YouTube. Or if you are referring to a book, obviously you should choose a book very carefully so that it has less errors and it's relevant to the exam, obviously, and I suppose that you would do that. If you are doing that from a book, do it from a book. So these are for all those students who are building concepts. How to do? For building concepts. Now revision, those who are revising, you see, you have done your concepts from your lecture or the course that you have taken, and you are now revising. You have to revise. Now the best way to revise is from your own notes. So when you have gone through the lectures, for example, let's say I'll tell you that when we in our course we tell students, when you build your concept lectures, do take notes of those concept lectures, important concepts. Now, why do we say so? Because when you come back to revise, you do not have to watch the whole lecture, because you don't have, you will not be using that much time in going through all the lectures now. Rather, you should be saving your time. So, if you are revising, you should be revising from your own notes, provided you have made your own notes at the first place, which I hope that every sincere candidate has done, right? So, when you revise from your own notes, the time taken would also be less. Now, how much to do is a very relevant question. Okay, sir, there are 4 topics. Hai? So, there is Quant and DI, there is the English language section, there is the reasoning section, and the GA and BA. So, which are the topics that you are talking, or which are the sections that you are talking about when you are saying that you need to do 2 sections every day or 2 subjects every day? Right. I have written in the how much to do na? 2 out of 3 non-GA subjects, right? So which are the non-GA subject? Apart from GA, what are the other 3 subjects? Quant DI, English language, and logical reasoning. So out of these 3, you would do 2 sections. You will take concepts from 2 sections. Now for concept building purpose, what you will do? How would you do? Now that we have already covered, what to do before prelim, what to do after prelim, that we have already covered in our lectures that we had done in the last week, Let me come on the screen for this. See, for how would you prepare yourself on the concepts that for quant, for English, for reasoning we have already done last week. So go back to those lectures. I'll give the link to of those lectures in the description as well as the pinned comment section. But go through them and understand how would you do it. Okay. So take two, for example, let's say there are three subjects, right? Three subjects, three sections broadly. Let's say three sections: quant and DI, reasoning, and your English language section. So each day you take 2 out of these 3 to do concepts. Let's say in quant you took arithmetic, profit and loss. Okay? You took profit and loss. You did the concept of profit and loss. You did, if you are watching our lecture, let's say there are a lot of questions inside the lecture only. You practice those lectures alongside doing the lectures. So you got the idea, the crux of what the point is, what is the concept, and how do you approach the questions. Okay? So this is how you do it. This is for the concept builder. Acha, for revision, how would you revise? For revision, you would do it from your own notes. We have already told you. So how much to do would be dependent upon how much notes you have made. Normally, your notes would be of, let's say, on profit and loss. It would be of what? 2 to 3 pages of notes. Acha, based on that, if you have done some special problems, you have made notes of some special problems. That would be another 7-10 pages, right? So overall, in the revision, the time taken would be less, and obviously when you are building the concept, the time taken would be more. So what would be the time that would be required? For concept building, 2 slots of 2 hours each would be required. Now we are taking 2 out of 3 non-GA subjects, right? So if you are taking 2 out of 3 non-GA subjects, then obviously 2 slots would be required, and that would be of 2 hours. So in those 2 hours, what you are supposed to do, if you are doing it from lecture, you would attend the lecture, do the questions, and that would be the task that you do in that 2 hours. If you are doing it from the books, you will understand the concept, do the sums related to the concept, the solved examples, and some questions. That would be would be concept building phase. There are a lot of concepts that would not happen in one day also. Understand this. Here you will have to be practical. For example, there would be so many concepts in arithmetic that would take you 3-4 days to have a grasp over. So you watched a lecture, then there would be a second part of the lecture, or you understood a concept, then there would be some questions, and then the next concept. So obviously it would be a time taking process in terms of your concept building part. This is for the concept builders. Obviously, for those who are revising, they would also do it, step by step, and they would also break it into parts. Then only they would be able to revise it wholly. Sitting one day and trying to revise everything in quant is a very bad way of doing it. Okay, don't do it. The second thing that I would want to tell you in this, you see, what are the challenges that we face while we make schedule? See, a lot of us make schedule. It's not that we do not make schedule. We make schedule. Then we start following that schedule. For the first 2-3 days, we are very, very interested, excited, enthusiastic about doing whatever we have planned in that schedule, right? There is no insincerity in us. Then what happens? Then we the second day or the third day, what we do, we pick up a topic that's a difficult topic or a time consuming topic. We do not break it up. We think that aaj maine ye topic uthaya and I'll do it fully. We'll do everything in this topic. And then what happens that when we are into that topic for 4 hours, 5 hours, we feel tired because that topic is not for one day, right? And when we feel tired, then our next topic of the day, which might be from, let's say you have taken quant and you've given 5-6 hours to quant at a stretch, and then the next topic of the day, let's say English or reasoning, you are not in a mental state to give it because you are tired mentally, right? So why should we do things which would jeopardize and it jeopardizes our chances of success? Why would we do things that would jeopardize our chances of success? Because then what happens, 2-3 days this way, and then you look back and see, in reasoning I didn't do anything, in English I didn't do anything. I am not going to clear the exam. Then comes in depression, then you leave it for another 3 days, and again after 3 days you pump yourself up, and this time, last time you picked up quant, this time you picked up reasoning, and do the same mistake all over again. Right. Achha, there are some great people who think that they would complete in 1 week quant, in 1 week reasoning, in 1 week English, or 2 week quant, 1 week reasoning, 1 week English, 4 weeks plan made. Bah! That's the way they plan their studies. Does it happen? Seldom have you been able to follow that structure and have been able to complete what you had planned. It does not happen that way. So the idea of a daily schedule is always to mix and match all subjects, all topics. There are two reasons to it. One is that when you mix and match, you have energy reserves always for, small 2 hours sessions or 2 hours of slots. But you don't have energy reserves for 6 hours at a stretch or 5 hours at a stretch. And then every 2 hours you're changing topic, you get refreshed. Okay, you get refreshed and you are able to sit for 10, 11 hours, 12 hours a day. But if I tell you to sit for the same thing for 7, 8 hours, you will get frustrated within 3 days. And that happens. Right. So one reason for making a daily schedule, diverse daily schedule, is that it keeps us engaged, energized, and therefore there is more chance of us completing what we have planned. The second and a very important reason for it is that you are not lacking. If you take up diverse sections and do them, yes, I agree that over a period of 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you will not see major progress in any one of the section. I agree. But dear friends, you will also have to agree with one thing, that over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, you will see major progress in all the 3 sections. Right? Isn't it? I am talking about now only the 3 non-GA section. I will come to GA later on. So my dear friends, here is the catch. Do I need to see immediate improvement, immediate gratification, or do I need to clear this exam? For clearing this exam, you will have to use your common sense, your logical reasoning. And common sense and logical reasoning says that if you get prepared before the exam, that is enough. You giving 1 day boost, 2 day boost, 3 day boost would not make you clear the exam. But you getting prepared till the exam on all the sections would help you in clearing the exam. So common sense and logic would ask you to do the second thing, and that is what I am also asking you to do when you are making your study plan. Is it clear? Right? Okay. Chalo. Let's go on to the next thing. So now if you look at here, for concept builder, those who would be doing concept building, how much time would they take? Total 4 hours, 2 hours slot of 2 slots? Now please understand that there would be some topics that would take you 2.5 hours to 3 hours. But there would be also some topics that would take you 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Like for example, if you are doing fill in the blanks and it's a 1 hour lecture, right? Another 30 minutes of practice of the in-class lectures and you are done with 1.5 hours of within 1.5 hours of lecture. So even if you take 2.5 hours in a, let's say, time speed distance lecture, there you are managing the time with 4 hours. Okay? So 4 hours on average you take if you are concept building. If you are revising, then you will take 1 hour slot each, 2 slots. That is 2 hours total. Okay, right, because you are revising from your own notes. At the most you would be looking out for all the special problems that you have noted down, but 1 hour is more than enough for those 10-12 pages of material that you have taken note of, right? Okay, next. Question practice. Now this was concept building and revising. Now those who are building concepts, they are practicing questions while they are building concepts also. But then that is not adequate, because you will have to practice more so that you get the groove of how to work out the problems, how to do RCs, how to do puzzles, right? So the more practice would be required. Achha, for revision guys, you are just revising from your own notes, so your practice needs to come. So let's see. Practice questions in a time bound manner. Now it is high time. This is what, 2 months to exam, 1 month to prelim, let's say. So this is high time when you do time bound manner practicing of questions. You remember in the mock, in the lecture where Abhishek sir had talked about mock, 3-4 days back, Abhishek sir delivered a lecture on mock. Now there, what did he say? That there are 2 types of practice. One is the full length mock, another is the timed sectional mocks, right? Or timed sectional tests. So you can do time sectional tests, you can do time topic test, but you have to do time bound practice of questions. Yes, for those who are revising, they can directly go to timed sectional test. The sectional test means there all of the topics of one section are together. So it can be English, RC, fill in the blanks, vocabulary, and parajumbles, all of these together in at one place, and you give 20 minutes of practice there, and then you analyze the questions that where you went wrong, how much you did not do right, where you went right. Now this is practicing questions in a time bound manner. Now when those who are building concepts, they need to do it topic wise. Those who are revising, they can do it section wise. Okay. Again, what would be the rule? The rule would be take 2 out of the 3 non-GA subjects every day. So here also the same rule would follow. Now you might ask that, sir, therefore then we can practice the same 2, right? Here also. Yes, you can, but a lot of times what happens, my dear friend, I'll come to on the screen for this. See, what happens is that, especially in quant and in certain topics of English, is that it is divided into parts. The concept part is divided into multiple parts, as I told you. Now there you will not be able to do a wholesome practice of that until unless you are done with all the parts, right? For example, profit loss I was talking about. It is divided into 3-4 parts. Until unless you are gone through all the 4 lectures, would you be able to do questions of profit loss of all types? You would not be, right? So if you have class mapped questions for you ready to practice, or subtopic mapped questions for you to practice, you can do so. But you can take the same topic that you have studied that day, or you can take a different topic also. As a matter of fact, it is always preferred so that you have a change of topics, right? Every 2 hours or so, that you take a different topic. So let's say concepts you did quant and English. In quant, you see, let's say you did percentage topic, and I'm talking about the concept builder. For revision, I'm coming. Concept topic of arithmetic, and you did, let's say, critical reasoning. Okay. Now these 2 in reasoning, critical reasoning. So after you have done these 2, when you practice some questions in the class that you have got, or in the books that you have got, you practice some question in that 2 hours of time that I have told you in the first row. Then after that, what you will do, you will come to these 2 hours of practice. Okay. Now these 2 hours of practice, you can take, let's say, RC practice, right? 1.5 hours of RC and FIB practice, let's say. Then 1.5 2 hours of you had done puzzles the other day. You do practice of puzzles. So this type you can vary your there can be variations in your practice and concepts. One concept, one practice, one concept, another practice, that you can do, right? So that you have a variation in the that type also, that you saw a concept lecture, did the in-class questions, then you practice from reasoning, right? You did quant concept lecture with quant practice questions. Inside the lecture, those are there, or from the books, those are there within the 2 hours, first 2 hours, and then in the next 2 hours you did some reasoning, and then in the next 2 hours you did some verbal ability or English language lecture or concept, and then in the next 2 hours you did some quant practice. Take again another quant practice from a different topic. Take this way you can manage it. Okay. Now for the guys who are revising, they would take sectional tests. They should be taking sectional tests so that they are getting more varied practice at one go, because at this point of time, what is your target is to optimize your score, maximize your score and optimize your attempts, right? So that you should be focusing on. And how much time would this take for both those who are revising as well as those who are doing concepts? Not more than 2 into 1.5 hour slots each. That means 3 hours. So 3 hours of time divided equally or a little bit here and there in between 2 topics, right? Concept, 2 practice topics or 2 sectional sections is what you should be doing. Okay, clear? Okay, let's move on to the next. That is general awareness, BA, FA, financial awareness, banking awareness. Now, understand, this has been changing a lot for the last few exams, and those of you who had been very concerned about this, we did some lectures for you guys on YouTube so that it helps you to plan your preparation in GA, BA and FA2. There is a Ravi sir's lecture on it and there is a Samish sir's lecture on it. Go back to them and watch them. Now, you will need to understand that the amount of time that GA needed earlier was less than what it needs now because of the changed nature of GA. Alright, so understand the last 2 to 3 exams, including the clerk exams, and learn with intent. Now, when I say learn with intent, which means what? More than knowing the news, learn about the news. Include quizzes too, right? So this way you would do a more wholesome preparation. Again, for the details, go back to the lectures that we have delivered on these topics so that it helps you to plan better. But how much time you should be looking at for this section? My dear friends, the time would be in the range of 1.5 hours. That is 1.5 hours. 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, right? So that would be in the range. Okay, sometimes you would do it in less time, sometimes it would take a little more time, right? But that would be the range. Now, how would you start? You would start with maybe, if you have been doing a GA regularly for the last 6 months, then you would just be progressing further with whatever you have been doing, with keeping in mind the context of the changed exam, right? If you have started from today, then how would you be doing? That we have discussed in those lectures. So you should go back to those lectures and see how would we starting. If we have started from today, how would we starting with this section, right? Would we be revising first? Would we be doing the current one first or the static financial banking awareness first? How would we manage them? Okay, right. So these things you can get that from the lecture. Now, the last and most important thing, I'll not say most important because everything here is most important, but last but not the least are mock tests. Now, we have done again a detailed session on mock tests, how to take mock test, what should you do with mock tests, right? Abhishek sir has given a detailed session on that. Do watch it. The idea here is that in today's scheduled lecture, what I would try to see is that how much time would mocks take of yours. See, you'll have to take time-bound mocks and then analyze them. That in the last lecture, Abhishek sir had also said that you'll have to know where is gap 1, where is gap 2. He talked about gap 1, gap 2, no? Right? So, you'll have to know those things, and for that you'll need to analyze your test. How to analyze? You can go back to the playlist of hours of mock analysis and understand from there. Now, how much we should be doing? Now, see, till exams, for prelims, I'm talking about prelims exam, at least 15 to 20 mock tests before prelims exams, right? At least. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have already done with 15-20 mocks till now, you would not do any mock now. No. If you are done with 15-20 mocks till now, very good. Progress further with another 15-20 mocks. Okay, right? So, this is something that would take every day, assuming one mock a day, every day 2.5 hours, right? Okay. Obviously, if you are concept builder and you do not want to start with the mocks now, which is okay, because you need to have some amount of idea. So another 7-10 days, or at the most 12-14 days, that you would be starting with your mocks. Then every day if you take one mock, and in the last week of November is your pre, then also you'll be done with 15-20 mocks, no doubt about it, right? If you're doing alternate day mocks from now onwards, then also you'll be done with 15-20 mocks, right? So on an average, I am assuming that if you have that time, if you do not have, you are in the revision segment, then you should be taking at least more than at least 15-20 marks, preferably more, right? But as analysis is important, taking marks is of no use if you do not analyze. And my dear friends, when you analyze, you come to know about what you are missing, where you are missing in concepts and where you are missing in test taking. Abhishek sir also told you in the mock test wala lecture, that there are two gaps. Gap 1, where you are to learn how to take the test in the best manner, and gap 2, where you will have to learn the concepts in a better way, so that you can reduce the gap 2, right? So the gap 1 is okay, that would go as much you would take mock, analyze them and move on to the next with the enhanced learning, that would go. For the gap 2, this feedback would be needed. I am not good at these kind of questions. I am not good at this kind of topics. So you will again come back to the revision part, the question practice part. You will practice some questions of them and then get yourself good at it. Isn't it? And this goes on for everyone, for both concept builder guy and the revision guy. So this is how you would divide your day, divide your time. Now let's look at the total time. Total time, how much is it? 8 to 11 hours. 8 to 11 hours. Maximum 11 hours, and you are done with everything that is possible to be done in here. Right? Okay. That's maximum. That is for a person who is starting from scratch today. And for a person who is revising to maximize his chances of success, he should be giving, or she should be giving 7 to 8 hours, and you would be done of whatever you can imagine and more. Right? Okay. Obviously, that time should be quality oriented and should be given the way I have told you to be given. If you sit for 7 hours on one topic, as you used to do earlier, then there would be no benefit that you would be getting from this. Okay? Right? Clear? Okay? So this is how you make your schedule. So have a look at it. These are the important parameters. On the basis of these parameters, make your schedule. Monday, Tuesday, or this week I will be doing this week I will be doing that. Make that schedule and get it done. Also understand, the way you would be approaching would be dependent at what level of preparation you are. So a concept builder guy would be doing the concept building, application of his common senses and his mind in increasing his course, as well as his practice at the same time. Whereas the revision guy would be solely be focusing on the score building wala part. Okay. So obviously there will be differences, and that difference would all obviously come now, because you are at different stages of preparation. And with this, you do not need to think about that. It would automatically happen. The scheme of things that I have given you, it would automatically happen for you, right? If you follow it according to whatever stage you are in, right? But there are some things that you need to take care, and those are, first, make your schedule and follow it. That's a sitter. Yes, that you do, that you try to do. But another thing that I would want you to do is that, my dear friends, don't take daily updates of course completion. Do not go back and see that how much percentage of the course you are done with. Right? You have a list for your course if you are doing it from the books. If you are a beginner, I'm talking about a beginner or a person who is at 10-20% of course completion. So you have a list of the course, and every day if you go back and see, yesterday I was at 5%, today I am at 5.5% or 6%, would that motivate you? It would not motivate you. Rather, you would get depressed. Just like, what I said in the last slide, that our target is that before exams we should be ready. Our target is not to see a 5%, 10% jump in one day, because that's not possible. Right? Okay, sometimes you would get a 2%, 3% jump in a day, but okay, that's okay. That is also of no use if you are not at least 80% or 90% till the exam. Okay, right? So don't take daily updates. If you are following your schedule properly, it would ensure that your course would be completed. The lion's share of the course would be completed by the time you are sitting for exams. And that's what you need. Okay, step by step completion is the key. And the most important thing, enjoy your preparation. That's the key. If you don't enjoy your preparation, you are doing this because you are following a schedule, you will leave this schedule in 3 days. I am guaranteeing that. But if you enjoy it, if you enjoy every day of yours, yes, you can, don't take daily update of course completion, but you can take daily updates of what you did that day. If you take daily update at the end of the day, today I learned this, today I learned this, I did these many questions, I was able to get 10 out of 15 in these questions. Now that would give you a kick. That you should do. Okay, how much is that the overall course? That you do not need to do. But what you did that day is important to give you that motivation to continue for the next day. And you'd enjoy it also. Every new thing you learn is something that would give you the kick to go on and learn newer things. Okay, so enjoy the preparation. That's the key. Okay, so that would be all for today. Thank you very much. Hope this lecture helps you in making the best suited schedule for yourself, a schedule that suits you the best. Okay, thanks a lot and all the best.